Hey everybody, friendly neighborhood game master Zach Hall here. Starting up another new series of videos that I am really looking forward to because it's a product that I've owned for years, but I've never really dived into it, though I've heard amazing things about the system powering it. I'm going to be looking at Monsters of the Week. Now, Monsters of the Week just launched a new crowdfunding campaign for a brand new book, a brand new expansion book called Codex of Worlds, which sounds really cool, but I've never played or ran or read Monster of the Week, even though I've had the PDF for years. And so I saw in my inbox, this is not a paid ad. I don't have a partnership with Evil Hat, the publishers, even though I do love everything Fred and the Evil Hat team does over there. I especially enjoy the Fate RPG, which you've heard about in previous videos of mine. This just popped into my brain as something I wanted to do that I really enjoy doing, is looking at new systems, especially non-D20 based ones. I have enjoyed cracking open Level Up Advanced 5e from In Publishing. Just did a video on that very, very recently. But in all of the brouhaha from the D&D OGL debacle of early 2023, I do want to expand my horizons beyond D20 based games. So Monster of the Week just seems right up my alley, though I know Powered by the Apocalypse was extremely popular and people really like it, especially for folks that are looking for something less crunchy. I think that term has lost a lot of its meaning recently, but for more fiction forward narrative gameplay, people really like Powered by the Apocalypse. I know I have looked at it, but never quite seriously, and it's never really clicked for me just yet. I haven't figured out exactly, like, okay, how do I interact with the system? What does it really feel like? What does it look like at the table? Monster of the Week, from a setting and like what it's trying to accomplish, is exactly kind of the type of thing that I'm super into. I love urban fantasy, and love that entire genre. So a popular system with a popular game in a setting I love, that's right up my alley. So let's jump into the PDF Monsters of the Week. You see, it's a standalone action horror RPG, 3 to 5 people can emulate or just straight up play in settings like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Supernatural, or X-Files. Comes with 8 simple moves to investigate and deal with monsters. Moves is one of those things where, like, I haven't understood yet. Figuring out, like, okay, what do turns look like? What do encounters look like? I'm looking forward to getting into it. I don't know how far I will get in this video explicitly. There might be in 2 parts. I've started this a couple times now and had to restart, and I am now a little pressed for time. So there might be a lighting and costume change whenever I pick this video back up. So very excited. Let's just dive right in. So the version of here right now is from 2015. So that tells me, like, I mean, obviously it's an old book that people still are enjoying and playing and buying enough to where they feel like they've apparently sold out of their softback core rulebook and are now republishing it as a hardback with slightly additional content, a new cover art, etc. So obviously still popular 8 years later. And looks like it was published, like probably originally just like maybe like a hack of Apocalypse World, before it was published by the Fred Hicks at Evil Hat back in 2015. So really excited. Love the art. I kind of like the fact that it's black and white. Great way of keeping your art costs a little lower, especially if you're looking, or just the fact that you're getting artists who are great at black and white stuff. That's great. There are monsters out there. What you've signed up for. One player will be the Keeper, short for Keeper of Monsters and Mysteries. Very cool. He will be in charge of designing monsters and mysteries for the hunters to deal with, bringing the world to life, and portraying the monsters and people. So not a red flag, but just something I'm going to have to really keep an eye on is like this bit right here, designing monsters and mysteries. I'm sure there's some good supplements out there to reduce GM burden, but at the same time, like this is from all intents and purposes, for all I know, like a math crunch light system. Again, I'm brand new to this, but definitely not looking for a system that gives more work for the GM. Though I do think, I'm hopeful that by the point that you're playing a game like Monsters of the Week, that you're playing with a game group that understands you're going to be an active, proactive, even narrative, story-driven game. So hopeful everybody's on the same page there. The rest of you decide how the hunters work together to investigate weird situations to find. Your hunters aren't normal people. They're not even normal monster hunters. These are the ones who stand out larger than life, twice as badass. I like just calling that out. You're not normal people. Copies of the hunter playbooks. Each of these is a rule, reference, and record sheet for your hunter. Cool. Enough hunter reference sheets to go around. A keeper reference sheet. A mystery sheet for the keeper, or an introductory mystery to play. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Pair of normal 6-sided dice for each hunter. The keeper won't need dice. Interesting. So no rolling for the keeper. Sounds cool. Also handy. Big list of names you can use for the characters. It'll be okay. A mystery is one situation for the hunters to deal with, like a typical Monster of the Week episode in your favorite TV shows. You should get through a single mystery in about 2 to 4 hours. Sometimes it might stretch out longer, so that the mystery is split like a 2-part episode instead. The first game will take a while longer because you have to make up your hunters at the beginning. Okay. I've written the rulebook in order that you'll need as you play, with all the hunters information first and then the keeper section after. Okay. Structure, hunters and keeper. Cool. Really seems like Mike, is it Michael Sands? Mike really is basically the person who did this. Seems like he did this for the most part on his own. And it's very like, I've written this rule book. It's his email address. I wonder if it still works 8 years later. And the Monster of the Week forum is probably not still at the Apocalypse World forums. Maybe it is. All right, so the first session, you'll create hunters and investigate your first mystery. So I love that you're going to create your hunters as a part of your first session, which assumes you're going to be like at the table with everybody. Like this isn't a come to the table with your character made, like you probably would in D&D, or like you're going to play amongst, and that you're going to create and then play, potentially create as you play. I know in Fate, another Evil Hat thing is like you have the option of leaving a couple of character creation choices blank until you play 1 or 2 sessions and let the fiction kind of finish, especially if it's something that you don't necessarily have a huge opinion about as the player. So the first step is decide if you want to pick a team concept. So the reason you're a team, you work for a secret monster hunting agency, or we defend our hometown. Cool. I am probably going to be looking at this to see okay, could I run a Dresden Files-esque urban fantasy, literally Monsters of the Week type game with this? Because I don't super love the way that Dresden Files Fate really, I don't love how the game kind of plays out. It isn't my favorite. I think Fate is a little too abstract, even when tacking on a magic subsystem. So I'm interested if Powered by the Apocalypse and Monster of the Week kind of solves that. If you don't have a team concept, just let everyone pick a playbook and see what the team looks like. You'll work out why they are together as you create hunters, establish their history with each other as you play the game. You have a chosen, a once ordinary person who discover they have a special destiny. They are good in a fight with some weird powers. Example, Buffy from Buffy. The crooked, criminal turned monster hunter haunted by their past and enemies. Hey, look at this. That's Anna Valmont from the Dresden Files. So it's obvious that either Mike or Fred, or Mike and Fred as part of the revision process when Evil Hat kind of went to Mike, they see the Dresden Files as something that could be run in this system because they are pulling multiple people. Because next is the Divine and Agent of Higher Power, Castiel from Supernatural, and Michael Carpenter from the Dresden Files. The Expert, the hunter who knows all about monsters and magic. Expert knows a lot of hidden secrets, aka Bobby from Supernatural and Rupert from Buffy. I'll admit I have not watched in full. I've seen the first season of Supernatural, and I have not made it past the first like 20 minutes of Buffy. I did not watch Buffy at the time, and so I don't have any nostalgia attached to it. Going back to it, kind of knowing what we know now about the creator and the stuff that some of the actors had to put up with on set at Buffy. So I don't have the rose-tinted glasses with it, and I could not make it through. Let me know if I really, like, if I should push, or if there's like, you know, some shows you push through the first couple episodes and then it gets really good at episode X or season X. Let me know if it's worth going back to in 2023 as a brand new viewer to Buffy. Even if I love this, even if I like the genre, I don't know. The Flake, a conspiracy theorist, great at finding things out and seeing how the events of separate mysteries are connected, aka, or example, Mueller or the Lone Gunman from X-Files. Initiate, member of an ancient monster-slaying sect trained to fight and use magic, good with magic, and their sect provides help and sometimes problems, aka the Wardens from the Dresden Files or Annalise from the 20 Palaces series. I've never heard of the 20 Palaces series. Noted. The Monstrous, a monster fighting for the good guys. The Monstrous is very weird and can have a variety of different powers based on what monster breed they are. Oh, like Angel or Bill Compton from True Blood. Okay, cool. I did immediately peg vampire as monstrous, but that's totally true. Mundane, just a normal person, especially good at dealing with regular people you meet and have to save, and at getting captured by monsters, which can be more useful than you expect, like Sandra or Cordelia. The Professional, you work for an agency that hunts monsters. You're good in a fight and a good team player, aka Riley in the Initiative from Buffy, or Olivia Dunham from Fringe. I need to go back and rewatch Fringe. Now that I did watch a decent chunk of Fringe as it was airing. I did not make it super far into the show, but that's one I might have to go back to. So then you have the Spellslinger, a trained wizard wielding powerful magic in their crusade against evil, aka Harry from Dresden Files, Willow from Buffy in later seasons. Oops, spoilers. I guess Willow becomes a magic user. The Spooky has psychic or magical powers. They're strange and sinister and not completely under control, like Sam from Supernatural or Willow from earlier seasons of Buffy. And then the Wronged, revenge-driven, really tough, all about killing a specific breed of monster like Dean and John from Supernatural. Super cool. And I know that there are a ton of extra playbooks around. Oh, and then there's some more. The Action Scientist from Action, based on Atomic Robo, Big Game Hunter, Constructed, Exile, The Hard Case. I don't know either one of those series. Owen Pitt from Monster Hunter International. Is that like Monster Hunter, like the JRPG? Luchador, super fun. Mad Scientist, sure. Meddling Kid, Scoobies, love that. The Sidekick, the Snoop, the Summoned, a summoned creature, creature summoned to end the world, but it's decided they don't want to do that. Hellboy. I'm really interested in how you, like, I mean, again, like, this is coming from a crunchier, more math system-y place, but I wonder how you optimize, like, how do you balance Hellboy with Xander from Buffy? Or everybody knows that, like, there's gonna be some people that are really good at some things and not as good at other things, right? And that some things are gonna be flashier than other things, I guess. Okay, just one of each. Only one hunter of each type is allowed at the same time in a game. That's because you're not just one of that type of hunter, you are the archetype. There may be a whole agency professional monster hunters, but only one of them is the professional. So, like, if your team was playing as, like, a government agent, only one of your players would be able to take the actual professional playbook. Others would still be a part of the team, which is why the team concept comes in, but everybody's got to have their own individual playbook, which is good. You'll spend about 20 to 30 minutes defining their abilities and establishing relationships in the team. Follow the instructions in your playbook to create your hunter. So each playbook has its own, like, maybe not specific character creation process, but interesting. You get to the introduction section. Wait until everyone catches up. The keeper will guide everyone as you make up your hunters, so ask them if you have any questions. And then there's instructions for the keeper on how to run that. Super cool. It's good to work out why the hunters formed the team. You may have decided on this already. If not, have a quick discussion. The combination of playbooks you selected may demand a particular team concept, or it may seem like 2 or more teams of hunters have been mashed together, for instance, a family and a government agency, in which case it's good to ask why they're cooperating. Or you can accept that there's a random collection of hunters. Sometimes it's okay to let things develop and play, sure. Sometimes your team concept will require additional stuff on top. This stuff that enables the game to run smoothly. If you find yourself saying it doesn't make sense that we don't have this and everyone agrees, then it's a good candidate for customization. Really cool they're just calling that out, being like, hey, like sometimes you just need stuff like a van. Oh yeah, like a van. Something that can be written up as a custom move. For example, the team concept is that you're all members of a secret organization, so everyone starts with a version of the professional's deal with the agency move. New options as you level up. For example, the team concept has a special mystical artifact for each hunter, but these artifact powers are not initially available. Each hunter may choose to unlock one of their artifact powers when they level up. That'd be really cool. I love that idea. And I love that they're just like, yeah, if you need to do it, do it. Don't get too crazy. Examples, Slayer and Entourage, the Chosen One and their support group. Unexplained Cases team, that's more fringy, or like a Warehouse 13 is like another IP that I can think of that would kind of work. The Order is pretty, well, I was about to say supernatural, but then I looked down and saw Road Tripping Hunter Family. I was like, oh, that's supernatural. So I don't have an exact call out of like the Order. Maybe Buffy, but I don't know. I feel like Buffy was Slayer in the Entourage. So that sounds cool. All this sounds really cool. All right, before we get started, 2 game concepts, moves, and ratings. All right, here we go. Nitty gritty. Well, probably as nitty gritty as it might get. Moves cover situations when the game rules step in to help you determine what happens. If your hunter wants to do something that any normal person can do, then it just happens. Moves are used to determine what happens in cases where your hunter tries to do something normal people can't do, like casting magic. Something dangerous, such as getting into a fight with a monster. Or something that's more exciting if we don't just decide our outcome on their own. For example, seeing if your hunter's lie to a monster attack victim has any repercussions. Each move is triggered when a particular situation happens in the game. Look at when the move says it happens and follow the instructions. For example, you need to use the move Protect Someone to save another hunter from a bone puppet's attack. The move says when you protect someone from harm, roll plus cool. So you roll the dice and get a 2 and a 5. That's 7, plus your hunter has cool plus 1 for a total of 8. The move's instructions say that on a 7 to 9, you protect the target okay, but you may suffer some or all of the harm instead. After you've recognized the move's trigger, it will tell you what you want to do next. Moves can ask you to roll dice, grant you a special ability, give you a bonus, or give you extra options to use in certain situations. So I wonder how many moves there are. It sounds like there might be like upwards of 6 to 8 moves. Potentially ability to add more, and they all have a trigger, and then kind of like what you do. And it seems like they might have, it might use like rating systems that I'm familiar with from like a fate type situation. It's basically a modifier, but in the very low, like 0 to 5 range. Especially since you're rolling 2d6 the entire game. Like I don't want, like the ranges are going to be tight and low. Hunters' basic moves. All the hunters have a set of moves that allow them to investigate and deal with monsters. They are called basic moves, and there's 8 basic moves. Okay, here we go. Act under pressure, used for any difficult or dangerous action that isn't covered by another move. Okay, so just a like catch-all. Help out, used to help another hunter do something. Investigate a mystery, used to work out what kind of monster you're dealing with, what it can do, and what it's planning. Kick some ass, used for fighting monsters mainly. Okay. Manipulate someone, used to try and get someone to do something for you. Protect someone, used to save someone from danger. Read a bad situation, used to work out what dangers are immediately threatening to you. Or use magic, used to cast magic spells or enchanted items. And then in addition, each hunter's playbook has its own set of moves. These are playbook moves. They don't say, I wonder if the playbook moves are like extra effects or bonuses, with the triggers being one of the basic moves, or if these are additional moves. Because I feel like these kind of cover the base, but I could see someone like the religious, the divine, being able to protect someone. They use a specific rating and they get a bonus because, like, you know, they're supposed to be protecting people. And then the rating, it's interesting, they kind of use a ladder, a descriptive ladder similar to Fate. So ratings are from -1 to only 3. +3 is phenomenal. And then these are like your ratings add or subtract from your dice total when you roll a move. Cool is how calm and collected you are. It's added to your die roll for act under pressure and help out. Tough is how strong and mean you are in a fight. It's added to kick some ass and protect someone. Charm is how pleasant and persuasive you are. It's added to manipulate someone. Sharp is how observant you are, investigate a mystery and read a bad situation. Then weird is how attuned you are to the supernatural. It's added to use magic. All right, and then we'll try to get through a playbook or two. Let's do the Chosen, and then jump to maybe the Spellslinger. Your birth will prophesize. You are the Chosen One, and with your abilities, you can save the world. It all rests on you, only you. First, pick a name, then follow the instructions below to decide your looks, ratings, fate, moves, gear, and your special weapon. And finally, introduce yourself and pick a history. Okay, cool. Some appearance stuff. The ratings, then pick a line. Interesting way to kind of do an array, but like really kind of limiting, only giving you certain options. Looks like you can make cool your low and make tough and charm. Like if you want to be, and weird one. So the Chosen One is either not good at something or like very good. So you can either be a not cool and a not weird. So you're going to take one of these top 3 if you're not a supernaturally gifted, or you really are a supernaturally gifted, and potentially, and when you are good at the weird stuff, you're not as tough. And then it's kind of down to like, if you're not as tough, you're sharp, but you're not charming, or you're pretty charming, very cool, not sharp. Okay. So you can decide what sort of fate is in store for you. So how you found out you were the Chosen One. Then pick 2 heroic and doom tags. It's okay to pick contradictory tags. It means your fate is pulling you both ways. Whenever you mark off a point of luck, the keeper will throw something from your fate at you. No normal life, loss of loved ones, sympathy with the enemy. So you get all the basic moves, +3 moves. You get 2 and then pick 1. You get Destiny's Plaything at the beginning of each mystery. Roll + weird to see what is revealed about your immediate future. On a 10+, the keeper will reveal a useful detail about the coming mystery. On a 7 to 9, you get a vague hint about it. On a miss, something bad is going to happen to you. I'm here for a reason. There's something you are destined to do. Work out the details with the keeper based on your fate. You cannot die until it comes to pass. If you die in play, then you must spend a luck point. You will then somehow recover or be returned to life. Once your task is done or you use up all your luck, all bets are off. And then you can get the big entrance. When you make a big showy entrance in a dangerous situation, roll cool. On a 10 over, everyone stops to watch and listen. 7 and 9, you pick 1 person or monster to stop. Then on a miss, you're marked as the biggest threat by all enemies who are present. You can be devastating. That could let you do additional harm. Be dutiful when you act in accordance to any of your fate tags. When your fate rears its ugly head, you act in accordance with any of your fate tags, either heroic or doom. Then mark experience. You gain an experience point when you act in accordance with one of your fate tags. And then if it's a heroic tag, take +1 forward. Don't know what that means. I don't know what take +1 forward means as a mechanic. Invincible, you always count as having 2 armor. This doesn't stack with other protection. Resilience, you heal faster than normal people. Anytime your harm gets healed, heal an extra point. Additionally, your wounds count as 1 harm less for the purposes of the keeper's harm moves. And then you have protective gear worth 1 armor if you want it. But you wouldn't want it necessarily if you were invincible. And then you have a special weapon you were destined to wield. And then, this really is kind of like a workbook type of thing, which is like pretty cool. But I get like you'd have to, every time you play, it's not like there's a character sheet. You basically you would have to print off, kind of put together a playbook every time you would get together and play Monsters of the Week. And I'd be really interested in finding out if there are like long running campaigns using Monster of the Week, or if this is like something you play for, like, if you're doing a mystery every session, like how many mysteries do you need to kind of like do you run it for like one arc? I'm sure this is a really popular one-shot system. I wonder if, like, I feel like I could easily do maybe a whole, I don't know. I could probably string a couple of mysteries together. I wonder if anybody's like written a campaign with multiple mysteries in it that like build on each other with like A plot, B plot, where this isn't really meant for that. Or you kind of let that up to the characters and the players. So you have your special weapon, and then you have the business end. It can hold an artifact, which makes it like magic, spikes, messy, blade, +1 to harm, heavy, +1 to harm, long at the close tag, throwable at the close tag, chain at the area tag. And then finally pick whatever material the business end is made from. Tell the group what they know about you. Go around the group again. On your turn, pick one of these for each of your other hunters. Close blood relations, destined to be your mentor, best friend in the world, rival but working arrangement now, romantic entanglement or fated to be romantically entangled, just friends. They could have been the chosen one instead of you. You saved their life back when they didn't know monsters were real. Interesting. Cool. You can mark off a luck box to either change a roll you just made to a 12, as if you had rolled that, or change a wound you had just taken to count as 0, no matter how bad it was. If your luck boxes all get filled, you run out of good luck. When you spend a point of luck, your keeper will bring your fate into play. I wonder how when luck gets reset. Like, is that an every session thing? Every mystery thing? Or is that like forever? Harm. When you suffer harm, mark off the number of boxes equal to harm suffered. When you reach 4 harm, take unstable. Unstable injuries will worsen as time passes. Fun. Leveling up. Whenever you roll and get a total of 6 or less, or when a move tells you, mark an experience box. When you have filled all 5 experience boxes, you level up. Wow, so you learn by failing. Learn by failing. And I feel like it wouldn't be that crazy. Like, I've seen some players, and play with some players who could absolutely roll less than a 6. When you have filled all 5 experience boxes, you level up, erase the marks, and pick an improvement from the following list. So you can add +1 to one of your, or any of your ratings to a max of 3. You can take another chosen move twice. You can gain an ally, or you can take a move from another playbook twice. After you have leveled up 5 times, you qualify for advanced improvements, where you can get another +1 rating, get back 1 used luck point. Wow. Okay. So unless there's like some activity that you can do to get back a luck point, like the fact that you have to use an advanced improvement to get a luck point back means that those are major. But as a chosen one, it feels like that's a mechanic you kind of want to play around with whenever you get the opportunity. So super interesting. Change this hunter to a new type. Oh, just like switch, like stop being the chosen one. Create a second hunter to play as well as this one. Okay, sure. However, I feel like I mean, I know, again, it's not that type of system. I knew that this wasn't going to have like a level advancement all the way to level 20 type thing. This is completely fine. I do find it funny that like one of the advanced improvements is just creating a second character. Where it's like, if that's probably something that you wanted to do, I probably would have let you do it anyway. Now that I know it's it's an advanced improvement, it's like, okay, well now you got 2 characters. Well, like there's an opportunity for you to like bring in another one, or just, hold that character option until like the next game we play. Mark 2 of the basic moves as advanced. So that must mean that advanced as like a trait or a tag means something. You can retire this hunter to safety, or delete one of your Doom tags and optionally one of your hero tags. You have changed that aspect of your destiny. Really interesting. I mean, it's really interesting that like retiring your hunter is a mechanic in the game that like is locked to you behind like before you hit like level 6. I mean, not a bad thing. It's just kind of interesting. Let's cruise. Now that we know kind of what I'm looking at, I'm gonna scroll all the way to where was he? The wrong no. Spellslinger. Hey, look, it's Harry. So what do you look like? So you have clothes, your look, and then what kind of description? Your eyes. I love that. All of them are +2 weird. And then kind of just an array of like, what else do you want to be? Do you also want to be +2 sharp? It means you're going to have no charm and not be tough. Probably what I would take, if I'm being honest, that third option. A really interesting like formatting here of like +1, -1, but then if it's 0, doing the equals sign. And like, I thought that with the plus sign before the rating, just, I've never seen that kind of like, formatting, a kind of like rules formatting and editing in like a big popular system like this. So you have combat magic. You have a few attack spells you can use as weapons. When you use these spells to kick some ass, roll weird instead of tough. Sometimes a situation may require you to act under pressure to cast your spell without problems. Pick 3 options from the list below. Your combat spells can combine any of your base spells with any of your effects. So combat magic, pick 3 with at least 1 base. So you got to pick at least 1 base and then 2 effects. So you got a blast, 2 harm, close, obvious, loud. Ball, 1 harm, area, close, obvious, loud. Missile, 1 harm, far, obvious, loud. Wall, 1 harm, barrier, close, 1 armor, obvious, loud. And then you can fire, +2 harm, fire. Force or wind, you can add +1 harm, forceful, or +1 armor. Lightning or entropy, +1 harm, messy. Frost or ice, -1 harm, +2 armor to a wall, or +1 harm, restraining. Earth, add forceful restraining to a base. Necromantic, add life drain to a base. I kind of like it. I mean, if we're not doing a crunchy magic system anyway, this mix and matching is kind of ideal of like, okay, here's my base, and then let me effect, and then I can blah, blah. Fantastic. I'm obviously taking blast, wall, fire. I guess, do you always have to combine? Your combat spells can combine any of your base spells with any of your effects, so you don't have to add an effect to your wall. Cool. So you get all the basic moves +4 Spellslinger moves. You have this one, tools and techniques. In order to use your combat magic effectively, you rely on a collection of tools and techniques. If you don't use them, there are drawbacks. Cross one off, you don't need the rest. Or cross one off, and then you'll need the rest. So you can have consumables, foci, gestures, or incantations, and you can scratch one. I'm scratching consumables. Give me a foci, give me gestures, and give me incantations. And then pick 3, advanced arcane training. If you have 2 of your 3 tools and techniques at the ready, you may ignore the 3rd one. Arcane reputation, pick 3 big organizations or groups in the supernatural community, which can include some of the more sociable types of monsters. They've heard of you and respect your power. With affected humans, take +1 forward when you manipulate them. I'm guessing +1 forward is just like a always on +1 buff, and then you can manipulate monsters as if they were human with no bonus. Could have been worse. When you miss a use magic roll, you can choose one of the following options instead of losing control. You can fizzle. The preparations and materials are ruined, and you have to start from scratch with the prep time doubled, or this is going to suck. The effect happens, but you trigger all of the listed glitches but one, and you pick the one you avoid. That's a cool mechanic. This is going to suck. I like that mechanic a lot. Enchanted clothing, forensic divination. You can ask what magic was done here as a free extra question. Go big or go home. When you must use magic as a requirement for big magic, Take +1 ongoing to those use magic. +1 ongoing, +1 forward. That's something I have to dig into in future video. Not my fault. +1 to act under pressure when you're dealing with the consequences of your head spellcasting. Yeah. Practitioner, take 2 effects available to you under use magic. Take +1 to use magic whenever you choose one of those effects. Oh, that's cool. Shield spell, when you protect someone, gain 2 armor against any harm that is transferred to you. This doesn't stack with your other armor. And then a third eye. When you read a bad situation, you can open up your third eye for a moment to take an extra info. Take a +1 hold on any results of 7 or more. Plus, you can see invisible things. On a miss, you may still get 1 hold, but you're exposed to supernatural danger. Unfiltered hidden reality is rough on the mind. This is super Harry Dresden based, which I love. I kind of love. I mean, like all this is Harry Dresden. So asking the question, can I use Monster of the Week to run Dresden Files type games? Yeah, I can. Gear, you don't need much gear. You can pick one: an old revolver, a ritual knife, or heirloom sword. Harry would take the old revolver, and then introductions, and then pick one that acts as your conscience when the power goes to your head. Murphy, blood relation, though you're out of contact for years. Thomas, mentor from another life. Ebenezer, your magic fueled rescue of them, introduce them to the supernatural. Butters, an old rivalry has turned into a tight friendship. Tell them what you once fought over. Okay, Harry doesn't have one of those. He has some very cautiously kept at arm's length, but we will work together. Laura Coney Marcone. I can't believe I said it like just said it like the audiobook narrator in the first book when he was mispronouncing it. Marcone. You thought you were dead. You thought they were dead, and now they're back. What killed them? Elaine. They're an on-again, off-again love interest. Elaine Murphy, was her name Sarah? Or somebody else? I can't. Your comrade in arms, you face the base threats together, Michael. Mark off a luck bucks to either change roll you just made to a 12 or change it. So that seems like more than what Chosen One had, but maybe not. But luck works the same. Harmed. Okay, similar amounts of boxes, but unstable is way earlier. Interesting. Okay, here's interest. Chosen One, you had a max of +3 for everything. So as a spell slinger, weird is your only rating that can get to a 3. Everything else has a max of 2, and you can't even add, is it a charm? No, you're just not going to be a charming person. So like if you're going to be pretty much stuck until you get to level 6 and you get an advanced improvement if you want to put in +1 to charm. But at that point, I'm probably not. I'm going to use the max +3 here to get something like sharp or cool to 3. Yeah, and similar other stuff. You can take another combat magic pick. You can cross another option off from your tools and techniques. Nice. Cool. This is really cool. I'm digging this so far. I'm not going to go into all the other playbooks because I think I'm sure they're all really cool, but I'm not here to like review all of them. I'm just here to kind of like get a sense of what the game is like. So I've got to stop here, but I will do another video picking up with the Getting Ready for Action chapter in the Monsters of the Week core rulebook. I hope you enjoyed this, and if it was helpful for you, have you ran or played in Monsters of the Week? Let me know. I want to hear from you. How did it go? What do you think of the system? Is this something that you really enjoy? Have you played in a long campaign before, or seen an actual play, or heard of a group at your local gaming store who've been playing the same Monster of the Week campaign for years? Let me know. If there's any really good actual plays that utilize Monsters of the Week, let me know, because I'd be interested in seeing this kind of in action. Any other playbooks that you think I should check out, either from supplements? I will probably do those eventually whenever I'm done with the core rulebook. just to kind of get a sense, or if there's anything I got wrong. Leave all that in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you're ready for more videos like this from Monsters of the Week or from Level Up Advanced 5th Edition, or seeing me talk about any other systems that I come across and want to tell you all about, hit the subscribe button. I do this in big waves, so like don't expect a ton, but I do this for funsies. So I hope you had fun too. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.